YouTube, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This is kind of a comedic game. It's not horror or anything else. It's just a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. I have seen a little bit of it on YouTube, like the first 5 minutes, I think. So I thought it was really funny. So let's just have fun with this game, shall we? By crows. Alright, let's do it. Choose a screen, subtitle language, English. Obviously. Have you played it before? No. Adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. This is fine. Enter the current time, 1911. Oh god. That is 7. .31. Is it PM? Wait, let me switch that up real quick. It's PM, so that's good. Okay, can be accessed from the main menu. Here we are. Let's do it. The end is never. Alright.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh god. It's already amazing.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
That seems
This
very
is what
boring.
employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
That seems
although
boring.
Others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
It's just one room.
Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Sad.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something
Alright.
was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. Oh my god, that's insane sensitivity. Jesus Christ. No, thank you. Okay, let's see. Is this all fine? Sure. Okay. This is way better. This is more my sensitivity.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, I've seen this.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Where can I get on here? And then like this. And then you stand up and then you come in here. This is what I've seen.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No?
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop?
I don't
Do
know.
you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option.
Alright, alright. You've convinced me.
All of his co-workers were gone.
You've convinced me.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You've convinced
me.
me.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
You've convinced me.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until
Wanna see
he
what
heard
the
this
other option
narration
is?
and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
It's
He
crazy.
then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Yes,
Why don't
it's
we
white.
take a minute just to drink it all in?
It's a white screen.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now.
Alright, I'm sorry.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, no clue.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. I see. The meeting room it is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's exactly what I was doing here.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Of course.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Oh, obviously. Beautiful room.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Shut up, narrator. I'm locked now. Help. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. It cause death. Can't stop
Stanley,
me.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Aw,
I'm
what
not
do you
your
mean?
enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
What do you mean all this
Someone
time?
you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
No.
Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her? What do you mean?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What are you talking about, brother? I'm locked in again. It's a door. Oh,
That's her, Stanley.
it's a phone.
You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I picked up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What the fuck?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
You're
I'm
rude.
trying to get you to see something.
Rude?
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Hi? Ma'am?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named
Wait, what?
Stanley.
Wait, what? Good morning, employee. Press V on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Dude. Really? No, I'm pressing Q, W, E, R. Okay, you
Look at him
convinced me.
there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I didn't.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk,
yes.
Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press H to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Home Alone be like. Press G to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press V to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press M to tell your kids a story. Hell yeah.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
To tell your wife you love her? Hell yeah.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
C to go to sleep?
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I pressed the button. Now I'm not gonna answer it. Wait, what button? I don't see a button. Okay.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But
Open
I don't
the door.
make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley.
Open the door.
Not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please die.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
I'm dead. I died. The end is never the end. Wait, what? I'm back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I died. This is what hell looks like. Okay, I'll listen to him this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm here. I did it. The impossible task. It's never been done before.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
Talk
boss's
less.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright, a lot of words. I'm not gonna read it. The broom closet?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I'm staying. My broom closet now.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Right up.
No reason to still be here.
This is what I've seen. The little part that you stay in the broom closet and he just keeps on talking forever.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
I can interact
As
with the
it is,
wrench,
he's
I
literally
believe.
just standing there doing sweet FA.
Alright. I'm still standing here.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm just as confused as you are. Gotta be honest.
You
Oh,
do
it's
realize
beautiful.
there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Look
If
at
I'd
it.
said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
No, it's very
I never would have
important.
thought to mention it.
Look at all. It's very important. Look at that wrench over
Maybe
there.
to you this is somehow its own branching path.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
No. Oh, look at that light over
Stanley
there.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Rude.
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
No, I'm not. Shut up. Shut up.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
I'm dead.
You got to this
I died.
broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system
Obviously.
and you collapsed on the keyboard.
That's what happened,
Well, in
obviously.
a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have
Yes.
fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Alright, alright.
When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Alright, alright. I'll grab someone real quick. Be right back. Alright, I'm the new person. Hello. I'm new. Who are you guys? I don't know. What was I doing?
Ah, second player.
Hello, hello.
Good to have you on board.
Yes, I'm the second
Guarantee
player, obviously.
You can't do any worse than the person
Hello.
who came before you.
Oh, hey, what a beautiful
You
closet.
too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Alright, narrator, you win. You win.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'll walk
But
downstairs.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Yeah, obviously,
And in
that's
such
why
a
I went down.
competitive economy,
Obviously.
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For
Like what?
example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Now, that's a good
Why
question.
did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
That's also a
And
good
for
question.
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Wait, what?
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
Wait, it's
And
repeating?
at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He
And that's-
just hadn't found the words for
And that
it.
is?
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
Yes,
what a relief
it is.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Wait, the rooms are...
He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
The
So,
same
he
cup
imagined
every
himself
time.
flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Wait, what? I'm flying?
Then
I got
he
flying
imagined
lessons?
himself soaring through space on a magical star field.
I'm flying?
And it too appeared.
Wait,
it
what?
was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was
Ghost
he
orbs?
remaining so lucid?
I found ghost orbs.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all
It's not a shade.
entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Wait,
And
what?
while he
Huh?
thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Dude, this game is crazy.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Yeah, obviously.
Did the
Look, the
voice
same
not see
cup
him float
every
and
time.
make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I'm gonna
So
prove
he
it.
closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Yes.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Dude, this narrator is actually... Okay. Anyway. Wait, what? I'm back.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Ah, what the hell?
And everything went black.
That was loud. That was very loud. That's rude.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Wait, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Wait, what?
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked
I'm
to
dead.
her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself.
I died.
Then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
I don't.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career.
Yeah,
and by extension,
I died.
the rest of her life.
He's dead.
She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
I died. I'm dead. Game over. GG. The end is never the end. Is never the... Oh, I'm back. I'm alive. I'm back.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Deja
What did
vu?
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I've never been here before.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, left door. So far so good. It's raining.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Don't get fired.
Feeling a wave of
Tips for not getting
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright. Going upstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm listening to the voice in my head now. Okay. So far so good.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
I need that. Yeah.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief
This game is
who
crazy.
orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret
No,
PIN number.
that's not what I wanted to do.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on
Oh
the
yes,
keypad,
so lucky.
Stanley happened to input the correct code.
So
by
lucky.
sheer luck. Amazing. He
I wanted
stepped into the
6969, but
newly
I failed.
opened passageway.
New passageway. Dude, look at those pictures. Who doesn't want those pictures in his working space? I would want those pictures in my working space. Red means scary. Elevator. Loading, 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 loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Dafuk. It broke. I broke it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I'm gonna die. Let's do it. Who doesn't want to die, right? Do it.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity
Nah.
to turn around and get back on track.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward.
My W
willingly
button is
confront
stuck.
his death.
My W button is stuck. I mean, I don't want to, but it's stuck. Oh! I'm dead. Oh wait, what? Okay. I lived.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Help. Wait, I'm alive.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Wait, who the hell are you?
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I'm dead again. Oh. I'm alive. Boxes. The Stanley Parable, that's the name of the game. Dark.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Wait, this is a small... Wait, this is a map of the map I was in? Wait, that's very confusing. Okay. This is... what am I seeing? It's stuff on how the game was made. Why am I here? It's door 1, 2, or 3. They are closed. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized sound. Okay. Wait, credits! I did it. I beat the game. It's 30 minutes in and I beat the game. I did it. Maintenance room. Wait, am I seeing the ending stuff of the game? What the hell's going on? Ultra Deluxe announcements. Warzone. It's Call of Duty now. Or Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would have become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Thus some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Fun. Wait, what? Narrator emails? Okay, excuse me? Well, the Stanley Parable of infinite quests. How many endings? Wait, what? You're too fast. The office. The lounge. Dude, I'm being spoiled. The apartment timer. Wait, what? I'm dead. I'm gonna die again. Okay, that's rude. It just restarts the timer. That's... okay. This feels endless. Am I in an endless loop or something? Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office. Or so it's literally just the same, but there are a few books and a lamp. Alright. Gaming. Game design mockup. Okay. Lift. Countdown room. Countdown. Wait, what was that? Saw something. What's over here? Freedom ending. Freedom? Wait, is it? I think I'm... Wait, I'm back to... Here? Office clock? Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
What do you mean? I'm free. On, off. Oh, ma'am, keep talking. Now you're shut down.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Wait, that was not your off button? That's
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Wait, what cannot be seen? I'm in an elevator?
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Oh, no.
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it.
Alright, you convinced me. Wait, I'm back. Like nothing happened?
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself.
Wait,
Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen
Centures?
while my senses
Yeah,
were
sure.
turned?
Wait, what?
He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
I'm back. I lived. I'm alive. I hate Mondays. Same.
When Stanley came to a set
Okay,
of two
well,
open doors, he entered the door on his
Dude, this
left.
game blows my mind.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
I'm
boss's
far
office.
before you.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
Okay, and
discover
then the code
not
was
an
obviously
indication of any
6969.
human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk,
Yes,
pulling
I
books
am.
off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
Yep.
But his attention
Working
was
on it.
caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
What
And so
feet?
the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known
Oh yeah, I
this.
don't know. What is it? It's this, right?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Again, all
He
luck.
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. I did it. Nothing behind there. Oh, we're in the same elevator once again. This game is crazy. I'm just doing the same things over and over again. Elevator is broken again. Obviously.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Yes.
Facility.
Of course, that's what I did all along. Okay, well, door closed. An idea?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
Alright.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to
There's a
himself.
lot of screens.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Yes. Of course. It's a desk. It's multiple. Camera.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
600
the number of an
fired.
employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Fire? Wait, some screens have fired on it. Wait, am I supposed to do something? I'm gonna walk over here. This is open. So I'm going here, I guess. Another button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Elevator.
No.
This game seems to be a lot about elevators.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Never.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Offline?
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
I gotta know what's in here.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Well, that was useful. Papers. It's all offline. Mind control idle, awaiting input. Okay. There's some code on there.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So we press on the on button, right?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
I would never.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
I'm leaving.
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Wait, that's detonation?
If this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it?
All right. I'm sorry.
Time to shine.
I'm sorry.
You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind.
I'm
what
leaving.
a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Press the button.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Press the button. I'm
in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
What did happen to them?
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around,
you have 3 attempts remaining.
I
got this. Insane.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
That's
Or
exactly...
did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in
There
this
should be a
room.
code.
These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything.
Rude.
Something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do
Obviously.
you have any idea what your purpose
Am I
in
safe
this
down
place
here?
is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But
Buttons?
here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
Rude.
To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control
Yellow,
this
green,
world
blue,
at
red. I got
first.
this. I
But I'm
believe.
going to
That's
destroy
obviously the code.
this, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big
Well, I'm
boom
dead.
and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
I'm dead. Rude. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the... Dude, I'm back again. We're back, baby.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a moment.
No, we're fine. We're completely fine. See, nothing ever happened.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on
Can I
his
also
left.
go up? Is that also an option? No? We're back again.
Yet there was not a single
Tips
person
for not getting
here
fired.
either.
Don't get
Feeling
fired.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping
Yes.
he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, I did. We're back again. Can I also go here? You know, I see a door. Oh my god, it's a door. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss what the f... Okay. Why does it sound like I'm typing? I'm literally clicking. Can I do something? Can I jump out the window? No? That. The door closed. Can I open this door? More doors! Elevator? Get me the hell out of here. Elevator? I hate this game. It's waiting music. This is gonna be an infinite elevator, isn't it? Wait, what? I'm back? Wait, but there's gotta be something in this elevator, right? Get me down? Maybe there's some... You know? There's gotta be something downstairs, right? Maybe? Can I read that? Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. Yeah, it's insane music. I'm gonna get copyright claimed. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anything here. It's the exact same room. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Is there another door? No.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks.
Yes, I did.
Not a living soul anywhere.
Wait, it's different?
Could he really be all alone?
It's different.
This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Dude, I'm
He stepped
insane.
into the newly opened passageway.
Gaming? Well, there's the lift again. I got deja vu. It's the freaking third time I pressed this button. Third time I'm pressing the same button over and over again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Do I go there again? Can I go somewhere else? Because all that this is gonna do is kill me again, probably. Am I going the exact same... I'm doing the exact same thing, aren't I?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I got deja vu.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay. Wait, it opened? Can I also just jump off?
Facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been
Let me
under
out.
someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
Let me
that his
out.
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Dude, I got a feeling the same thing is gonna happen again.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
The exact same thing is gonna happen.
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
Can I
or
go here?
content.
Let me in.
Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and
Open that
commanded
door.
from this very place. And as the cold reality of
Open
his
that
past
door.
began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Okay, we're gonna
For
press the
he
other button.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yes, that was obviously what I was doing the first time around. Obviously. You see? Turning it off. Oh. It's dark.
Darkness.
That's
And
what
a
I was
rising
saying.
chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had
that was
defeated
quick.
the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been
quicker
freed
than
from the machine's grasp?
the bridge itself.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power
Darkness.
that he had been seeking,
Light.
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
My eyes. I'm
It
dying.
was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Oh, I still can't move.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense
This-
possibility of the new
This
path
game is
before
actually
him.
crazy.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Freedom.
Stanley was happy.
Ah. My eyes. Complete this. That's the normal way of playing this game. Alright, well. Time to break it.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days?
Oh, we're back here again?
Centuries?
Okay, well, screw you.
Did something crucial happen while my
Can I
senses
also
were turned?
come in
He
the...
made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Open that door. Open it.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Touching stuff. I'm touching stuff. Can't stop me. Wait, what? Input received. Can I input more? No? Open that door. New content? Hell yeah.
Oh, new content?
Hell
What does
yeah.
that mean, new content?
I know. Tell me. No. Another elevator. Alright, hello. That made me dizzy. I turned and then I turned.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Uh-huh.
After receiving
Nice
critical
drawing.
and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Okay.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable,
More.
delighting audiences the world over.
Okay.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful.
Yes.
I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
It's a paper. That's new content. Hell yeah. Another.
Okay, so far it's an elevator.
Yeah, another
Nothing
elevator.
special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Oh, sure. I mean, you're the narrator, right? You should know.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've
Okay,
never
yeah.
been
I'm
more
ready.
ready. Let's do it.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Content. Content.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh. Is it what it is? What I think it is? I cannot jump here. I'm pressing spacebar. You can jump? No, seriously, we disabled it. I just got an achievement. I can jump! I can jump! Yay! Dude, this is the best game ever made. I've never been so happy of being able to jump. Aww. God damn it. No more jumping?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Surely. Another elevator.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yes.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes.
More content?
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new...
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What?
There actually is. I've looked at the achievement. There actually is an achievement that says, "Test achievement, please ignore." You're right there. Test achievement, please ignore. Test achievement description, replace this.
Quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built
don't
up too
worry.
much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
Nah,
No
there should be
frills,
more, right?
No gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
There should be more.
What do you say, friend?
I'm back? Wait, I'm not back? Same reaction scenario, guy. Where am I?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
But there's more in this direction! Alright, you convinced me. I'm coming! Who the hell left their mug in here? Oh! I'm dead. Oh, never mind.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be?
Nah, it
Well,
was
got
insane.
me thinking about the past.
I could
and
jump.
how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
Dude, I'm
Just
playing
our
Elden Ring
little
now?
secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Dude, look at that
Experiences
2D
like
mountain
the launch
right
of
there.
the Stanley Parable on PC.
Insane mountain. Look at the details. Memory zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release?
Don't forget.
Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games
2013?
had integrity.
Dude, it
Back
actually...
then, it all meant something.
It's actually 2034.
Oh, waste.
The original remake. Alright. Pictures, good times. The British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Independent Game Festival. Smile because it happened. Dude, so many awards. Oh yeah. Hey, what's this? I'm dead.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
That's
It's
sad.
no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Elevator content is the best content. You are playing the Stanley Parable. Well, thank you for reminding me. I thought I was playing Skyrim. I never played Skyrim. I still need to play that. And Elden Ring. And a lot of other games. 29. The bike. Prank snake oil salesman something.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't
Was
need
perfect.
anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest
Carpet
of time
textures.
collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Move objects, create levels, graphics. Did something open? It's Nanor! Oh no, not the boxes. Oh, come on. Open Nanor!
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to
Oh,
have
this
it
door's
all
open now.
over again. Wait, hang on.
What?
I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Oh, give me a drink. Dude, I've landed in hell.
No. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even
This
imagine
game is
what's been
incredible.
collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Surely. Oh,
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humour and dialogue proving to be more
Unfunny.
irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
stick them up your... Never mind. Steam reviews? Oh, look, it's a recommended. Look at it. Oh,
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if
Nah.
I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
no, you're not
Oh, goodness.
preachy.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
Nah, it is. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
Aw,
Like I let these people down.
no.
Perhaps
That's
the
so sad.
Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
It's so sad. Alright. See ya. I think...
What's this one got to say?
Not recommended?
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish
there was a skip button.
A skip button?
Oh.
Well,
Bye, comment.
Yes, I think we can do that.
Bye.
If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
He coded the skip button? Hell yeah.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by
Okay, now shut up.
Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
Yes, they can.
I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
I'm sorry.
There. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times.
All right,
there's no door, Stanley.
All right, I was just double checking.
There's just you and the button,
and the button I just pressed on.
You're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
It's dark.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time.
But I'm beginning to feel like I'm Stanley.
To speak with.
What the hell?
You think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
I'm back.
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've
Dude,
been
how long
through.
has it been?
I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days. Months.
Gonna press the button.
I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing
to
undo the past.
I pressed it. I killed him. He's dead. Shut up! Get me out of here! My ears! Help! Press the goddamn button!
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review.
I'm back. I can skip again. Skip again.
The end is never the end, 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 is.
Alright, shut up. Dude, it's leaking. Rude. Well, the ice age has started. Welcome to the ice age. No, light. My eyes. It's burning. Look at it. It's green. It's beautiful. Insane. It's gone. Maybe we should stop pressing the button. Dude, what the hell is this Minecraft sound effect shit? We're in a cave. It fell down. Freedom! Up! Freedom? We're out. We made it. We are alive. Seems like I'm the only human around. Let's explore the world, shall we? Right? Surely. I see trees. Oh, never mind. I don't see anything. Black. The end is never the end is never the end. Up. I'm back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
We're back again.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Doors.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office,
Yes.
but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Should be a door. New content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
It's another lift. Dude, there just keeps on coming new content. Crazy. It's another elevator. Okay, guys, welcome back to Elevator Simulator.
You
So
see,
today
Stanley,
we're standing
I've been reflecting
in
on
another
the Stanley
elevator.
Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright.
Yes, you see, isn't this
The end
far
is never the
superior
end.
to a measly
Again.
re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been
Zwei?
asking for.
Twee? It's even in Dutch.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Obviously.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams
The two
progress
dwarves, they're
and
back.
innovation and long-term franchising potential.
You made a whole PowerPoint on Stanley Parable Deluxe, alright?
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Sure.
It'll all work itself out. Game
This way
development
to the
is
show
much
floor.
more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Can I get on this bus? I want to go on the new content bus. Man. Two. I'm locked in. Help.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
New features. The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game? Hell yeah. I'm in. Hear your name in the game. Going.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want?
Road
And
to
of
the perfect
course,
button.
the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
It's incredible. I want to press it.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate
okay.
the full experience of this feature.
I got this.
Just play along. I promise
got
you'll
this.
love it.
Sure.
Okay,
Let's do it.
here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I'm Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yes.
If so, then please
I am.
step forward and press the button.
Okay, I got this.
Jim.
It's my name.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's
Obviously.
take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
Jim.
I'm putting the Jim button away.
Jim.
Otherwise,
No,
soon you'll start to lose all
Jim.
sense
No.
of who you actually are.
Not my button.
Jim.
I'm sad. All this feature did is make me sad. The Jim button disappeared. A door. We gotta check if we can open another door. God damn it. Another door. Wait, why are there so many doors? I gotta check them. Let me in. Open that door. Enjoy
I suppose
the
I
new
could
features.
allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2.
You heard
That
Jim
would
in the
actually
game?
save me the work of finishing this feature.
Yes, you could, but then you won't have a big player base.
An
Epilogue?
epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite hole? Infinite hole. Where am I going? I want to go to the infinite hole. Wait, free new and easy achievement? Get me this free and new easy achievement. I want it. Pull the lever, receive your achievement. No more steps, it works.
Now,
Hell
here's
yeah.
something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as
hell yeah.
simple as that.
Alright, let's pull it. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will
No,
be
you're a
fixed
wizard,
in the
Harry.
sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
God damn it. I got scammed. I got jebaited. This game is jebaiting me. How rude.
What
We're
else?
back.
What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I don't know. Infinite hole. It won't end. Hell yeah. I want to go to the infinite hole. Is it over here? Time and depth. Opening. Infinity.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's
an
never been
infinite
done
hole.
before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall
Hole?
down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Infinite
You
hole?
can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I want to jump into the hole. I want to jump in the hole. I want to jump in. I'm doing it.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so.
I'm still falling.
Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the
Hole.
teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
I'm gonna keep falling.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Is it not
Maybe do
infinite?
it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
It's not infinite, is it? Narrator. You got something to explain?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible
wait, he
that
actually
I
does?
slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
I'm moving
Is
around
it
the
a
hole,
very,
by the
very
way.
deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is.
Hole.
Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
To infinity
From one
and beyond?
perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Ow.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
Ow.
You found me out, Stanley.
New
I'm
mode?
a liar
Oh,
and
yeah?
a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
What person
I
doesn't?
figured the hole was as
Every
deep
pause
as
button
anyone would actually
is
need.
a Roman
Don't you
numeral.
put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh my god.
Things
Just
got
the
a little
two of
heated
us.
there. I
We
think
can
we
make
both
it
said
if
some
we
things
try.
we didn't
Just
mean.
the two
Why
of us.
don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Okay.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
Ow.
Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
for sure.
admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
Ow.
Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for
This is the only
accountability and
game
marketing.
that can
What's going on here?
make you have fun
Stanley,
falling down a hole.
I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Right.
Oh, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point.
Hole.
It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
That's never. Okay. Wait. I'm pressing it?
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
No.
You couldn't bear to
Hey.
be away from the hole, and now you'll get
Alright.
more time with it than you could ever have asked for.
Help.
It's a win for everyone.
Help,
You
help,
get to
help.
be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Well, thank you, narrator. I'm sure that'll be alright. I still can't teleport. Oh. Wait, what? Is it just me, or is it going down? No. Just me. Can I get out? Can we invent a jump button? Oh no. Goodbye, soldier. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Change your perspective. What the fuck? What the fuck? Dude, this is the best game ever created. Wait, G? Change your reality. What the fuck?
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
Dude, this is incredible. It's the best hole ever.
You're no longer using
Change
up
yourself.
the space of mine.
Davuk.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up
Huh.
the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer.
Oh no, we're back. Oh. Wait, what?
Stanley? Stanley!
What? I'm busy. Hey!
Oh, good,
Busy.
you're awake. It seems you had sort of
Hey.
dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
Rude. I
But
was
we
busy.
can't have that, Stanley. because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
That was rude. I was having fun in that hole, man. Come on. Rude. Wait, not again. Nope. The end is never the end is never the end. Loading. I'm back.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Reassure bucket. I see your reassure bucket. No screenshots?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday. Or happy 12th birthday, Stepniece. Obviously.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
Dude, this game is trolling me. I'm being trolled. Rude. Pictures changed.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Alright. The jump circle! I can jump again.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Give me more.
I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Aww. Collectibles? Hell yeah, I love collectibles. Especially when you have to get about like 50 of them in an open world game.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real
Find them? I can find them.
In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Is that a collectible? I did it? Wait, what the fuck are you? Hello? It's me? Wait, what? Me. I did it. Collect them all. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you... No, I can't. Sorry.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Settings World Champion. Where's that? Oh yeah, there's a... There's an achievement to get every single setting. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. So you gotta do everything. Every single setting. Oh my God. Why is there so many? Dude, there's so much stuff. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Why am I doing this exactly? Oh my god. Okay, well, we got that at least. Did I do it? Did I miss something? I think I missed something, didn't I? Did I? Ah, no. Did I get the achievement? Well, guess who's back? Guess who's back to do it all again? Ah, I got it. Got him. Settings world champion. I did it. I'm insane. Where is the world champion thingy? So I'm right here. And it is through the thing to the left. Through the thing to the left. Oh wait, it's over here. No? I'm lost. Help. Help. I'm lost. Or is it to the right? Oh. Wait, is it? Or is it right there? No, that's a reassurance bucket. Merch. Dude, where's my achievement? Let me in. Why is it not here? It should be right here, and then a thing that's slightly... It should be here. It should be this, but...
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
I turn off the subtitles. Oops. But I want my reward. I did the achievement and I get nothing? That's just rude. I even did nothing. This game is actually incredible. The best game ever designed. Good, let me in. Did I even miss anything? No, I didn't. Where's the exit? Let me out of here. Exit. Exit. Alright. Exit. I'm leaving. Bye.
Oh, goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit.
I literally just noticed that.
There's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay?
I just
All
noticed.
right, I'll get out of your hair now.
I noticed. I literally thought about it last second. Leave me alone, man. My bad. Bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Bucket! And just
Can
turn
you
horror?
feel it? The glow of comfort,
I got a
even in the
bucket.
face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body.
I got a bucket.
Can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
No.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I got a bucket. I got a bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
This game is incredible. Now we go to the exit, right, Mr. Narrator? Am I right? We got the bucket. The most important item in the game. I got that bucket.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Yes.
Yes, I
Can
know
I sit
it's
down?
not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Alright.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I was born
Here
ready.
it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
That's literally just everything put together?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we
Alright.
go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating
Collectible!
gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Oh,
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen
That's
that says
me.
with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me
Well,
see if
make
I
it
can
happen.
whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
dude, it's the Stanley Parable 2. Alright. Say hi to YouTube, shall we? Since it's a new game, let's do it. Hello YouTube and welcome to the Stanley yeah, never mind, let's just start again. Click to skip.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Oh,
something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
It's the exact same game. Oh,
All of his
balloons!
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Get well someday.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're back again.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Bucket!
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
I believe. No? Rip.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
I got this.
Hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
I'm in the broom closet.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled.
Property
no more
of
debate,
Stanley?
no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies
bucket?
and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
The bucket got the
That
sticker
way,
of a
if
bucket.
you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Alright, I'll leave. Oh, psych! Alright, you won.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
This is different now. Ah! Money in the morning, money in the evening, money in the breakfast, money crisp. It's a collectible!
One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Sounds like a keyboard. Alright. Before we go into this door to continue the story, I am gonna end the video here. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like button. If you like my content, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to see whenever I upload new ones, don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.